Thinks this is a playground. She's probably gonna try to run it under in a second. This to be like a jacket that you could wear when it's cold, because I think it's also going to be a lot more than I anticipated. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am making a Walter Van Beirendonck jacket. It was in his, I think, winter 2018 runway show. I don't remember where I first saw it, but when I saw this jacket, I absolutely loved it and always wanted to make it for myself. I'll put up an image of the jacket right here. As you can see, there's a lot of patchwork and stuff that will need to be done. So I used a lot of scrap fabric that I've had left over, been saving it for like this moment for this jacket, and some embroidery. Also, this jacket took me a long time to make because outside of just making the jacket itself, putting on all of the patches, cutting them out, all of the embroidery took a long time, but it was well worth it because I love how it turned out and I can't wait for y'all to see it. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias and let's get into it. Okay, for this week's video, before it is spring, essentially, I wanted to make this jacket and I've wanted to make it for a while. I don't know, I have to look up the designer's name, but I'll put some photos here. And instead of drafting a pattern by myself, because for like all of the art and stuff, I want to do patchwork and I know that that's going to take a very long time, I just found a pattern on Mood Fabrics. So I'm going to get ready and print out the first page to see if it fits the sizing and then put the pattern together and cut it out. And I'm gonna use the Zinnia jacket from Mood, and I don't think I have well, this is kind of like a sketch of what it looks like. So I'm gonna do that, and Mood has free patterns. So if you wanna make this, I'll link the pattern below, but also you can always check out them because they have a ton of patterns that are just free to download. Okay, I printed out the first page and the square is 2 inches by 2 inches. So now I can print out the rest of the pattern, and you do that to make sure that it'll be of the correct scale. Okay, 51 pages worth of this pattern printed out. So now I'm going to line them up page by page, tape them, so then I can cut out each piece. I have everything cut out. Blaze thinks this is a playground. She's probably gonna try to run it under in a second. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe it'll stay intact, but I have everything taped together. So I'm gonna look at the size of a jacket that I own, please. So I can cut out the size, the corresponding size. No! Oh my gosh. Cut out the corresponding size and go from there. Okay, so I have all the pattern pieces cut out, all like the paper pattern pieces cut out. So now I'm gonna get ready and cut out the fabric. I'm supposed to cut 2 center front pieces, but I have the fabric folded some. I don't know if I'll have enough if I do that, so I'm just gonna do 1 center front, which is this one right here, because I want to do a lining anyways. Yeah, so... And also, I'm going to, so if you see like where my finger is, I'm gonna shorten the pattern to about there because I don't want the jacket, it goes down to my ankles. I want it to be a little bit shorter. And then before I cut the sleeve, I'll also shorten it probably to where the start of the size guide is. So like there. And then after all of that, if I have enough, I'll try to make sure I can cut out the collar. I don't know if I'm gonna do the little pocket square part on the edge. And then I can do the actual pocket out of something else. And I don't know what the hem facing is or does. Figure that out later. Also for the lining, because I want this to be, even though it's getting warmer, I want this to be like a jacket that you could wear when it's cold. So I think I'm gonna cut out all of the main pieces. So like the actual jacket piece and the sleeve piece, and then sew them right sides together to the gray fabric that I just showed you, and then flip it inside out, and then either top stitch or connect everything. I'll have to see more when I get there, because in the tutorial for the pattern they suggest doing French seams so that your seams look nice and you don't have to do a lining. But with all the patchwork, and I'm probably also going to be doing embroidery too with the machine, I don't want you to steal that from the inside, so I also want the lining to be able to hide that. And also, I will be doing all the patchwork and the embroidery on the gray fabric before I connect it to the lining so that it can be hidden and doesn't come all the way through. So yeah, I'm gonna get ready to cut it out. I might try to film it, but there's a lot, and then I will probably sew those pieces together soon and sketch out what all I want to put on the jacket. So yeah. Everything's a mess, but I have all the pieces cut out except for the pocket and the hem facing, which are right there, so I can do the pocket later, and I don't know what the hem facing actually does. So I'm gonna sew the entire back together and then the two of the front, and then after I have those sewn, I'm gonna start working on like the patchwork and embroidery and all of that stuff. And I sketched out what I'm going to put, so I will show that in a second. And then I think after that I will make the lining and then like construct everything. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. Okay, so this is what I have drawn out. So for the front, I'm gonna do pretty much, this will be very similar to, and maybe I will do like put the photo up of it or something so you can see side by side what I'm looking at. But for the front, it's going to be pretty similar to the original The States Empire. It's worlds and worlds under or of sun and moon. And I also labeled out like this will be like this letter will be orange, this will be, or like the sun will be orange, the moon will be blue, worlds will be, or like the W will be purple. I'm not gonna do the PXG or whatever because I don't actually know what it means. And yeah, and then I'm gonna do the clouds on the sleeves with like the rays coming out, and also with yellow rays coming out where the sun would be. The collar has two moons. I think their moons have faces. I'm not gonna do the faces because I don't think I can. But I do really like the moon on the collar, so I intend to still do that. And that's gonna be, oh, also, so like all of these letters will be patches, but like all these rays will just be like stitching. And like the clouds will also be patches. So then for the back, mine's gonna be pretty different, or not pretty different, but a little different. So I'm gonna have the clouds going all the way, and then the sun, but it's not gonna be a personified sun, it's just gonna be a sun. And I do want it to be partially covered by the clouds. On the bottom half, I'm kind of going for like the nature theme, so I'm gonna keep the bushes on the side, probably do grass. The grass will probably be stitching, and also these little trees in the back will also probably be stitching. And then there's will be a tree here, and then above my clouds will be, instead of like a person thing like in his, I will do angel wings that the rays all come out from, and then at the very top the two moons, and then I'm gonna do stars. Also, I'm probably gonna do all these patches before I do the stitching, so yeah. So pretty much the next thing that I'm about to do is go through all of the scrap fabric that I've like ever saved, so it's gonna be a lot, and pull out the colors and stuff that I need because I labeled that in the drawing. And then I will start to draw out, like, I guess essentially patterns so I can cut out those pieces and put them on. So I have the fabric, or just a lot of scraps picked out that I might use. I started cutting out the letters first. So instead of, yeah, I'm just gonna reuse letters instead of like cutting out one to map everything out. So this is for the states and empires. Here is Blaze. I'm gonna make the W for worlds the same size as these, and then the letters for worlds a little bit smaller, and then draw out the sun and moon. Okay, so I sewed on the stapes. I'm probably gonna have to go back around and do a zigzag stitch, and as you can tell, it's kind of choppy because what I was doing was with the fabric, I was pinning the letters down and then slowly cutting them. So what I try to do now is use chalk to trace out all the letters so I can cut them all at once, and it'll be easier because I was like having to hold it in place so it wouldn't shift. So I'm gonna film that because I think that'll be better. And then cut out the empires and probably the worlds except for the W, and then cut out the W from the sun and moon and gradient sew all of those on. I have empires and worlds cut out, and I have empires pinned down. I'm holding this one I'm about to sew. So pretty much just putting down a lot of pins. And I have my big thing like extender up so I can just turn it a lot. Also, I did a basting stitch around all the edges because the fabric is raveling and I have very little seam allowance. So hopefully it'll stop it from raveling too much since I do have to handle it a decent amount. So I'm gonna sew this on and then the world, and then I'm gonna cut out the letters for the sun and write out the letters for the moon. Okay, I am done with the front. It took a very long time. This is what it looks like so far. There's a lot of raveling, and some of the things on the end might get cut off when I attach everything, but I kind of can't really worry about that. I think I said this before, Blaze is on top of everything. And I'm gonna like snip off some of the pieces that are fraying, but I did like a zigzag stitch around all the edges. I think it just made it look a little neater. So yeah, it is late, so I'm going to go to bed, and when I work on it tomorrow, I will go over the game plan for the back because I think it's also going to be a lot more than I anticipated. So I think my game plan for the back, I'm gonna first by drawing out, I think the bottom half, so like the sun and the tree, and then the bushes, and then the top, so like the wings, the moon, and some of the stars, because I'm gonna do the clouds last since it's gonna cover a few things. So I'm going to start by drawing out those and cutting them out, and probably seeing if they look good size-wise or if I need to change anything before cutting out the fabric and actually sewing them on. And yeah. Okay, I have everything roughly laid out except for the clouds. So I'm going to start by sewing down the brown of the tree, and then either the bushes or the top of the tree, then the sun, probably the wings, and then the moon. I have a few stars here, so after I sew everything down, I'll see if I can place one or two, and then after the clouds, I will probably sew all of the stitching, so like the rays for the sun and like the rays that are coming out of the wings, and then also I'll probably sew some stitching on some of the pieces, so like after I sew down the tree, I'll probably do some lines up and down so it kind of looks like wood. Same for the bushes. I don't know, just kind of gonna wing it, so I'm gonna start pinning some things and sewing those. I have all of the patches sewn on. I think it looks pretty decent. I also have it sewn on the sleeves. So now I'm going to start the detailing. I'm going to start with the sleeve first, the thread detailing. So I think before I do any of like the inside, like the actual pieces, I'm just gonna do the raise, and I'm gonna just try to tape out where I want the lines to be, and if the tape stays, I'll just use that as a guide, but if not, I got some disappearing ink pens from Joann's, so I'll probably mark the beginning and end of the line just so there aren't too many marks in case it doesn't disappear, and use that as a guide for sewing. So I sewed a lot of the black detailing on, so next what I'm going to do is the yellow for the sun, so between the black and then between the clouds on the sleeves, and then afterwards I will probably do some like brown on the tree and brown on the bushes, and then probably some black lines in the clouds and some lines on the wings, maybe the moon. Tape method, so I use the tape. I would recommend, if you do this, if you use tape as a guide, to use like painter's tape or something, because with the clear tape sometimes I couldn't see it. But I would do that, and then to make the lines more fine, I would sew in between them and line up the presser foot with like at some part of the presser foot with one of the lines that was already there, so it could be pretty straight. So I'm gonna get ready and sew those detailings, and then I will, once I'm done with all of that, I still need to maybe sew moons on the collar. In the reference, it's just an outline, and I don't know if I want to do that or like the actual patch that I made, or I don't know. I don't really know yet. So I'm gonna do that, and then I will get ready. After all of that, I will cut out the lining and actually get ready to assemble the jacket. Okay, I finished sewing the yellow. I've been working on this for a while and I'm tired. Like, just in general, it's taking me a very long time to do this jacket. But when I do the tree and the bushes, I'm probably just gonna freehand them. Maybe I'll do some marks with the disappearing pen, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna freehand it for the most part. Okay, I have all the pieces done. I cut out the lining for the like main part, so I'm gonna sew all the way around except for the top, so then I can flip it inside out and I'll connect it there. And I'm probably gonna serge the bottom and like that side, since I I'm gonna attach that, like, since that's the inner piece, that'll be serged later. Since I'm working with little seam allowance, I'm going to try to serge as little as possible and keep my seams very close. So I'm gonna go ready and sew that up, and then I will do the sleeves. Okay, for the sleeves, I put them, so I put the lining right side, so this is right side, and so I'll put the lining over this, and then I sewed at the end so I could flip it inside out, and then soon I will iron and hem it down so it stays in place. Thanks for watching. I really hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on my social medias, and yeah, I really loved how this jacket turned out. It took me a very long time to make it though, so if you decide to do this for yourself, just a word of caution, you will probably be working on it for a while, but I really hope you liked it, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.